Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Truss plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what I call Polygon floors with the current floor module of the Truss plugin. So as some of you know, you can draw TGIs, floor trusses, lumber floors using this the floor truss module. However, the problem right now is that we cannot actually do polygon floors, even though it's showing it can have that option. I basically stopped working on this module, it's been about a year almost now, and started actually working on a new floor plugin to replace it with, because I realized that the floor module was getting almost too complicated to fully encompass within the Truss plugin. So eventually I will be replacing this floor module with the new Medeek floor plugin. But for the time being, I just wanted to show you guys kind of, I guess, what my workaround would be. And, of course, it involves some manual editing. So if you'll bear with me here, I would like to take you through kind of just a very simple, kind of an L-shaped floor system. And we'll actually take a couple of minutes and use some of the trim tools and also cut out like a stairwell. So to begin with, I just quickly drew this basement foundation, just kind of an L-shaped basement with a little slab on the bottom. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to go ahead and put some floor joists across it. So first thing I'll do is just click here, and I'm going to use the TGI floor joists. And of course, just select rectangular because that's all we have. And I want my floor joist to run this way. I mean, I could have them run this way or this way, doesn't really matter. But in this case, I'm going to have them run this way. And so to have the module do that, you just click the direction, the first two directions will be the direction of the floor joists. Notice I'm clicking on the corner, and then I'll come across here, and I'll click on one of these corners. Doesn't matter, I could click there too as well, but just to get me that rectangle. Okay, so then it gives you a few more options here. We'll just start with the 9.5. And we'll turn the advanced floor options on, and that will give me the floor sheathing as well as a seal plate. And just hit OK. And you can see that I've set my sheathing in the global settings to plywood. I could have set it OSB. And by the way, those settings are right here under sheathing. You can set up your floor sheathing, whatever parameters you want here as far as that goes. So let's just leave those as they are for now. But you do have the ability to edit a TGI floor, and so let's go ahead and actually bump up the size of this, the depth of those a little bit bigger. So, and you can see, you have quite a few options as far as what you can do as far as the different eye joists that you have available to you. So we'll just go ahead and go with that for now. Yeah, everything else here looks pretty typical what we want, and you can see that it's parametric. Okay, so as long as you don't edit this, you can keep editing this with the plugin. But once you manually start editing this, then really you don't want to edit it again, because if you do, then if you make any manual edits to this assembly, they will get basically basically removed, right? And just to demonstrate that, I'll just take a click into this. Let's just say I deleted that. Okay, and then if I click edit this assembly again, and I hit update, you're going to see it's going to regenerate those members that were taken away. So anything that gets modified will be removed or basically replaced if you do regen or update a assembly. So in this case, though, we're going to go completely manual, and so I'm just going to go ahead and explode this assembly. So I'm just going to go explode. So now I can no longer edit it with the plugin. It is no longer recognized by the plugin as any sort of assembly that the floor plug or the floor module can edit. And then I'm going to also take and turn off the floor sheathing, if I can find that in my layers here. Let's see. Okay, so we can work with this. Okay, so now what I want to do is, so we've got ourselves a rectangular floor. Okay, great. We've got some eye joists. you know, this seems like a lot of work actually now to create this L-shaped structure, but actually it's not too bad. So I'm going to show you how. So I'm just going to grab these two members and I'm going to move those, copy them actually, hit the control key while I do that, and just drop a copy right here. All right, and then I'm going to, sometimes this move command kind of gets me. Select both those members there, hit the copy. When I select them, the move point, hit that control key, so I'm just basically producing another copy, and drop those right there. Okay, so now I've got my rim joists and my seal plates. So now it just is a matter of doing a little bit of trimming. So that's where this little trim tool in the Truss plugin comes in real handy. We've got this guy right here. So what I typically like to do actually in this case is we know that these I-joists along here are all going to be the same length. So we could, you know, actually, I'm going to select that one and then make sure I've got the I-joist selected and not the rim joist. Oh, looks like I got the rim joist selected. There we go. And so then we just, what I typically do is I just hold the control key down and it allows me to select a bunch of these all at once. Okay, so now I've got them all selected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make those unique. So I go along here, and they're actually components. Each one of those is a component. And I go make unique. Okay, now when I select one of those I-joists, you'll notice it says 18 of the components in the model are using that definition. And if I select these guys over here, one of these, and you'll see 20 of those in the model are using that definition. Okay, so now if we trim one of these, it should trim all the ones that we made unique with it because they all share the same definition. So I'm going to go ahead and trim. I'm going to select this face, and then I'll just select on this side, which can remove, which notice a little remove there. So that will remove this side of the I-joist. And there you have it. So all those are trimmed off nicely, and they all share the same definition. I mean, and you can always, you know, click on one of these and make it unique, and then it will basically have its own definition independent of these other I-joists. And we're actually going to do that over here where we go ahead and create like a little stairwell. So let's go ahead now and let's trim out these rim joists. So very simple. Click this face, click this rim joist. And then what I usually do is you don't have to restart the tool. You can just hit the escape key, which will allow you to select the next face, right? So if I click click the escape key, then I can select that face, and then I can select that. Okay, and that's corners done. And then we just come over here, and same sort of thing here again. Hit the escape key, allows me to select the face, select this member, and actually this member too. All right, that corner's done. And then hit the escape key again. Okay, so we'll see which way do we want this to run. So these members coming that way. So let's have this member be the long one that overshoots. So we'll select this face here, and then select that edge or that member, and then this guy. Escape key, hit that. Now we're going to trim off this member. And let's see, this member, I think. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Oops, trim the wrong thing here. Just hit the undo. Let's restart over. Okay, so let's see, which way did we want this to go? Losing track of things here. Okay, yeah, so let's just select that face, and then we'll just trim that, and then that, and that. All right, that looks good. Okay, so there pretty much is the framing for the main structure. Now, let's go ahead and just for fun, I'm going to put a grid, draw a grid actually, with the grid tool here. By the way, this is a free little extension provided by SketchUp. You can get it in the extension warehouse. I highly recommend it. It's just a real handy little tool to have. And I have it set for, I think by default it goes to 1 foot increments. So right now the grid is at the 0, 0 on the z-axis. So I'm just going to take the whole grid itself and just bump it up right here to the top of my top of my framing. Okay, so now I can use that information if I need it. You know, honestly, I don't really care where I put this. You know, obviously, if you're actually designing this thing, you would be spend more time figuring out where exactly and how wide this stairwell needs to be. But I'm just gonna show you kind of the basics here, so I'm not gonna be too worried about dimensions and all that. So let's just select that. We're just gonna double up a couple of these guys. It's as simple as just doing this and that. And let's select another one of these guys over here. Let's say this one here. And I just grab it right there and drop one right there. Okay, so I've doubled these up. And now, remember, they do all still share the same definition. So these are, yeah, there's 22 now in the model. I'm going to take one of these guys and just simply copy it over here. Doesn't matter where. And then I'm going to take, and actually I'm going to make this unique. So, and when I do start trimming it, I don't end up trimming everything else. And then I'm just going to take this guy and rotate him 90 degrees. And you can use the up arrow so it constrains it to that blue rotation axis. Okay, and then I'll just move him back over here to wherever I want him. And the reason why I put the grid is just so I can line it up on, you know, basically along this grid here somewhere. It doesn't really matter. Okay. And now I'm going to just copy that guy again. And let's see here. Let's do 12 feet because that's kind of a, I don't know. Again, I'm not all that concerned about dimensions. And for whatever reason, you know, maybe we want to double these up, right? Let's do that. Oops, mix that up. Let's just try that one more time. So, you know, we're just manually editing. I mean, this is basic SketchUp type stuff. It's nothing, there's nothing revolutionary going on here. The main thing I guess I just want to show you is that, you know, once you kind of have your joists and your rim boards, it's fairly simple to get in here and manually edit these things. Of course, it would be nice if all this was automated, and that's what I'm actually aiming for. You know, you can basically just cut a hole and you can have the option to double these up and double the headers up and everything else. Okay, so these four now should all share the same definition, and it does. That's what we want. And now if we use the trim tool, we can come along in here and say select this face and select one of these, and you'll notice that it does indeed trim all four of these. Okay. Okay, so now it comes down to trimming out these two. There's a couple ways to do that. What I suggest doing is going ahead and first of all, like same as before, make these two unique. Okay, so now I don't know. It really depends what you want to do, but what I'm going to actually do is just there's a million ways to skin this cat, but let's just come along here and just trim these two like that, and then we'll just take these two, okay, and we'll just say move, but we're not actually moving, we're copying. We'll just go ahead and stretch out. Sometimes it's harder. I need a better mouse. Okay, and then now you'll notice that this is shared by four definitions, right? So it's shared by these two. So we don't want that. So we just grab these two again and we make them unique. Okay, so now these two share definition, and these two back here that we previously trimmed share definition. So now if we trim these, we shouldn't actually affect anything else, just the two that we have intended. Right. Okay, so there we go. So then we've got our little hole in our floor. That looks great. I'm just going to go ahead and I could just hide that, I suppose. Just hide that. Okay, so now let's go ahead and turn back on our floor sheathing. So again, there's another million ways to deal with this floor sheathing. Of course, we're having to manually edit it, but I mean, you could use solids, you could use push-pull. I'm just going to go ahead and use push-pull, but first things first, I'm just going to hide my foundation. And honestly, it would be nice right now to be using SketchUp 2021 because I would have grouped up all these foundation layers or tags, and then I could just turn them on and off all at once. But unfortunately, I'm using 2017, and I do want to make a note that I use 2017 a lot for testing because it's kind of the lowest common denominator, and I do a lot of things with it just to demonstrate that the plugins, can still work with the SketchUp 2017 Pro and Make. So let's turn off our concrete and our footings. We got a lot of layers going on here, obviously, and a rebar. And heck, let's drop the anchor bolts over at it. Okay, so that's enough. We can see everything now. Primarily I'm trying to get visibility. Okay, so now I'm going to click into this group. And of course, this is nothing revolutionary either. We're just doing basic SketchUp type things where we're finding our edges and doing a little push-pull here to get rid of some unwanted geometry. Okay, so there's that, and then let's go into here. Same thing. Click into that group. This time let's just do a rectangle. That'll be easy enough. Locate that corner. Locate that corner. Push, pull. And there we have it. Okay, so basically our floor is complete for all intents and purposes. I mean, we may have other edits to it, but we have what we have intended to create. And then, I just usually like to, group everything back together. So I'm going to actually turn off this other stuff here just so it's not in the way. I'm just going to grab this geometry, all that loose geometry, and make group. Okay, so our floor is grouped up nicely, and if we turn everything back on, we can see we've got ourselves a fairly decent little floor system here now. Again, now that we've done this, this group is not technically a floor assembly. It's just an assembly. It's a group. So the plugin can no longer edit it or anything like that. It's not parametric. But you've got your geometry, so that's primarily what I wanted to show you with this. And then just to end off, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this guy with a wall, exterior wall. Actually, before I do that, let's do a quick measurement. So I want to have my sheathing and cladding drop. So that's 14 inches and 1/8. 14 point. Is that right? Did I see that right? Yeah, I did 14 and 1/8. So I want to have it overlap maybe half an inch. 0.125. And that puts us at 14.625. Okay, so let's go here, go to the wall. I'm just going to stick with whatever defaults we got there for now. What I am going to do though is I'm going to set my vertical offset here. What did I say that was? 14.58, so 14.625. Actually, we should re-enter that, just make sure I got right. And then I'm also going to offset my cladding as well. Well, cladding here, and that's okay, so sheathing cladding, the bottom offset. And let's just change, I'll just keep the default here. Okay, so you update on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and generate our walls real quick. So again, I like to start at a corner and work my way counterclockwise around the structure. I really do need one of those space mouse, don't I? Did I hit the shift key by accident? I did. Alright. You notice I've got that lap, right? So that's a 1/2 inch lap. Or some people like to do that, some people don't, but I've seen that on a lot of plans. And I'm not going to go ahead and create a whole house today or anything, but I just wanted to show you kind of the stuff that is integral with that floor, so you can kind of get an idea how that all comes together. And then finally we end off here, and I hit the space bar, and I'm done. Okay, so there's your floor system with your walls and all that good stuff. Let's just throw an opening in there to show you that. How that all goes, you know, and a couple of windows. Okay, so yeah, so there you go. You know, you got the floor, you got the cladding, the sheathing, everything's all looking good. Your floor system, again, it's not parametric anymore, but you have a fully modeled floor system, and you know, you can actually probably take your takeoffs off that and get exactly how many floor joists and everything else you need. All right, yeah, I just wanted to kind of demonstrate, you know, kind of the current workaround for how to use the trim tools and the floor module to really put together a floor system. I mean, floor systems get a lot more complicated than this, but just to kind of give you, I think, the basics so that you have the tools at your disposal to put this together. So eventually, you know, I will be replacing this module with the Medeek floor extension. And hopefully, I'm thinking maybe February or March, maybe sooner, just depending on how soon I get everything finished up with it. So anyways, if you have any suggestions for that new upcoming plugin extension, please give me a holler. And as always, thank you everyone for your support.